It's one thing to tell our clients what to do. It's another thing to be in the shoes of a buyer or seller and try to think rationally and keep everything about business when it's personal to you. A couple years ago, we were buying a house up at Lake Almanor, and we go up for the weekend. We see this house right on the water at Rec 1 in the country club under $1 million. It's been on the market for 3 weeks. They've had no offers. Naturally, the weekend that I'm making an offer, another buyer materializes. And negotiations went back and forth, and I made silly mistakes that I know better, that I never let my clients do. And we lost the house. And then the next house that came on that we loved, we went in full list price, didn't try to negotiate, no other offers, just wanted to lock it up. And that tells you something about psychology. And it tells you something about a mindset. Because we kind of went into that second house like victims. We had a victim mindset. We had just lost a house. We tried to play the game and negotiate and be tough, and it bit us in the face. And now we came in like underdogs and just gave everything up. And odds are we probably could have negotiated because as far as I know, another offer never materialized. They just accepted our full price offer because why not? And that's what I mean by no victims allowed in this market. There's no room for that mindset. People have got to be playing to win, and we can help them do that. So I want to share with you some of the points that I'm sending out to my buyers, to clients who ask me about selling their house later, to friends family who ask for my opinion. I'm going to share some of what I'm telling them with you guys because it might resonate with you personally. If nothing else, you'll be able to share it with your clients. It's tough out there. Like, for sure, it's tough out there. I know motivated sellers who with stunning properties that appear to be priced to sell that aren't moving. I'm also running into bidding wars every weekend with probably more than half of my borrowers who are active right now. It's definitely a unique time because interest rates and inventory have impacted affordability so drastically, while at the same time, there are buyers and sellers out there who just have to make a move right now, regardless of market conditions. That's the nature of life, right? Sometimes you just have to move, and that itself directly impacts the nature of the real estate market. But you know what? There are people out there winning every day, and I want you to be one of them. You as a realtor, or you as your clients. Here's the thing that I've seen that is not serving anyone. Can you guess what it is? Waiting. If you want to make a move this year, waiting to get started is probably the single most worst thing a client could do, right? Let's talk about if they need to sell a home. Unless they've spoken directly with the realtor who they trust, they likely don't have a clear picture of the market. The media certainly isn't painting one. They might think that homes are selling. They might think that homes aren't selling. They might think that their neighborhood is ICE. They might think that their neighborhood is undesirable. You might be aware of their options, but unless you connect with them, how are you going to tell them about them? We have options, right, that facilitate a seamless transition where they might not be aware that they could have a rent back from the buyers of their home until they find another place or until their next place is ready. They might not know about my Home Simple program where they would be able to sleep at night because they wouldn't have to worry about the buyers of their house's loan because we could buy the buyers of their houses. We could buy their house. We could buy the new house in cash for them. We could make sure that they have no contingencies if that's what they need to do. If they're not aware, if they haven't spoken to somebody who offers a program like this, they're in the dark and think that what the media is saying is the truth. And it's sad, but it's not usually. The most important thing I'm telling my clients to discuss with their realtor is their timeline, because that should impact their pricing strategy. I'm not a realtor, but I have been around 11 years in this industry, and I have seen things that realtors do really well. And I've also seen when realtors make mistakes. I think that clients should talk to their realtor about, if you need to sell this home quickly, then let's price it to do so. If you want to come on a little bit high and test the market, then let's talk about the risks of once your house is sat for 10 days, your odds of getting a full price offer decrease. And then let's also just be really honest that the fact of the matter is a lot of this is luck. It doesn't matter how good you are as a realtor. It doesn't matter how beautiful your photos are or how snazzy your video guy is at making the clips switch on the beat. A lot of selling a house comes down to luck, right? The right buyer showing up at the right time with the right amount of money. And if you have the time to wait that out, wait it out. If you don't have the time to do it, price the property to sell. Now let's talk about waiting from a buyer's point of view. Throughout market cycles, I've met with buyers who, for whatever reason, and it typically stems from a lack of confidence in what's in their knowledge about the real estate market and how these things work, They say, I'm waiting this out. They'll say things like, I'm not buying with the way prices are right now. And then prices go up even more. Or interest rates right now are atrocious. Meanwhile, their friends buy at current interest rates, simply shopping in a price range that they can actually afford the monthly payment on. They focus on that, the monthly payment. Because at the beginning of every month for the next 30 years, the monthly payment is what you're going to think about, not the interest rate on it. Over time, their friends' income, the friends who bought a house at current interest rates, their friends' income will increase with career advances. Their wealth will increase because of the property value going up and the equity they're building. And at some point, they'll refinance that home to a lower monthly payment. And then they'll be even happier. And then at some point, a couple years later, they'll tap into the equity to move up to a better home. Then there's the buyers who say, I don't want to buy at the bottom or buy at the top, and then the bottom falls out. Why? I mean, we know that's not going to happen because of loan quality and the trillions of dollars of equity that homeowners are sitting on. But let's just play the game. Why don't you want to buy if the bottom falls out? What would happen? You would just keep making your mortgage payment similar to the way you pay rent now. That's all. That's all that would happen. Or they say, I'll buy when interest rates come down. So will everyone else. This market, when interest rates come down, is going to have its own challenges. That's the real truth of the real estate game. Every market has challenges. And there are people who choose to be a victim to those challenges, and there are people who refuse to do that. They're the people who choose to take action instead. Right now, the biggest hurdles, in my opinion, for buyers are higher interest rates and limited inventory. Coupled together, that is resulting in bidding wars in some situations. But if we look at the data, about 20 to 25% of homes are selling for above list price, which means we still have the opportunity to negotiate on quite a few of the listings out there and get some kind of seller concession. So I'm telling every buyer and keeping them informed of the option to ask for a price reduction, to do a temporary buy down, to do a permanent rate buy down, or to get a credit towards their closing costs if funds are tight at this price point. Each of these strategies have to be considered for every home they're interested in. You can't make a decision based on opinion here because the numbers change, the markets change, and what's forecasted to happen is changing based on whatever economic data came out that week. So you run the numbers, you look at a total cost analysis comparing all those strategies and see which one's going to save you the most in the short term and the long run, and then you decide what you feel most comfortable with. The numbers don't lie. One weekend, a client could be outbid on a home. And then the next weekend, they could be like me and make a mistake and just go in with a full price offer because they got burned last time. But it's our job to make sure they avoid that victim mindset and understand that every house is its own market with its own unique set of numbers. And we are here. We are their team. They're not doing this alone. They don't have to be scared. We're here to guide them through it. Every house is different, but there is no room for a victim mindset right now.